Do you often catch yourself saying things like, "It didn't work out," or "It should have happened by now"? Maybe you've thought, "Why me? Life is unfair." If so, you're not alone. Complaining feels natural, but here's the truth. It won't change a thing. Watch this story if you want to learn how one man stopped complaining and discovered the power of focusing on himself for real growth. In a quiet village nestled in the foothills of the Himalayas, lived a man named Tsering. At 30, he felt life had been cruel to him. Every morning, instead of gratitude, his lips carried complaints. The crops didn't grow well this year. The neighbor has more cattle than me. My luck never changes. Day after day, his friends grew tired of hearing the same chorus of dissatisfaction. One chilly morning, as he sat outside his small house with a cup of butter tea, his old uncle walked by. The uncle had a reputation for wisdom, and he stopped when he saw Tsering's gloomy face. "Uncle," calmly. "Tsering, what troubles you today?" Tsering sighing. "Everything, uncle. Nothing works out. I work hard, yet I see no progress. Others are ahead, while I am stuck here." The uncle sat beside him. After a pause, he said, "Uncle, complaining is like rocking a chair. It keeps you busy, but it takes you nowhere. Do you want to remain where you are, or do you want to grow?" Those words struck Tsering, but he brushed them off, thinking his uncle didn't understand the weight of his struggles. That night, however, Tsering couldn't sleep. The words echoed in his head. Complaining takes you nowhere. The next morning, instead of complaining about the thin harvest, he asked himself, "What can I do differently?" He decided to rise earlier and learn from those who had better crops. Instead of envying his neighbor, he walked over and asked, "Brother, how do you make your soil so rich?" The neighbor, surprised by his new tone, smiled and said, "I mix natural compost and water the field at dawn. If you like, come tomorrow and I'll show you." Tsering agreed. For the first time, he replaced complaint with curiosity. Day after day, he caught himself about to complain, then stopped. Instead, he took responsibility. When his tools broke, instead of muttering, "Why me?" he fixed them and thought, "At least I have tools to repair." When his cattle fell sick, instead of blaming fate, he asked the village healer for advice and learned preventive care. Slowly, his life began to change. His crops grew stronger, his cattle recovered. More importantly, his mind grew lighter, calmer. People noticed. Friends who once avoided his negative words now gathered around him. They admired his transformation. One evening, the same uncle visited him again. Uncle smiling. "Your face looks brighter, Tsering. What happened to all your complaints?" Tsering, with gratitude. "I realized that every time I complained, I gave away my power. Now, I focus on what I can do, and that has made all the difference." That winter, a harsh snowstorm swept across the valley. Many families worried about their food supplies. But Tsering, who had planned and stored grains earlier, stood ready. When villagers came to him in need, he shared his harvest generously. They asked in wonder, "How did you manage this?" Tsering simply said, "I stopped wasting energy on complaints and started using it to grow." Complaining never changes the situation, it only steals your strength. When you focus inward, take responsibility, and act with consistency, growth will follow naturally.